Hey guys, I'm Lauren, and I'm going to be reflecting on Book 4 of the Consolation of Philosophy by Boethius. Now, one of the major things that I found in this book was actually kind of a parallel between another book I read for a philosophy class that I took last year, which was Philosophy in the Inklings. During that class, we read a book by C.S. Lewis called The Problem of Pain, and it discussed how there could be pain in a world where we have this supreme ruler of God. On page 85 of the Consolation of Philosophy, Boethius says, "But the greatest cause of my sadness is really this, the fact that in spite of a good helmsman to guide the world, evil can still exist and even pass unpunished." And this was one of the things that we talked about in my other philosophy class, that even though we have this all-powerful God to take care of the world and to make sure that it's filled with beautiful things, there can still be evil in this world. And that was one of the things that it was kind of interesting to read about in this book. There is wickedness in the world, but God is not just letting it run rampant. God is doing things to fix it. And another thing that I found was that The Problem of Pain and Book 4 were similar because they're similar in the idea that pain is beneficial. In The Problem of Pain, it talked about how God was very much like a father. Fathers will sometimes tell their children things they do not want to hear, but eventually the child will grow from it. And I saw something similar to this on page 98 of The Consolation of Philosophy, where Lady Philosophy says, "So when the wicked receive punishment, they receive something good, the punishment itself, which is good because of its justice. When they go unpunished, they require some extra evil in actually going scot-free, which you have agreed is bad because of its injustice." I also saw something that I thought was really interesting on page 94 that says that evil is not so much an inflection as a deep-set infection, which I thought was really interesting. And on page 96, you actually saw something very similar to this in the later part of the meter, which said, "Those poisons, though, are stronger, which creeping deep within dethrone a man's true self. They do not harm the body, but cruelly wound the mind." And something that I've seen, at least in being at college and have interacting with people in different sorts of situations, is that while they may be externally beautiful and their wickedness might not affect their outward appearance, it will definitely affect who they are inside. And I have seen that no matter how pretty someone is or how nice they seem on the outside, you really have to know someone on the inside to determine if they're actually a good person or if they're wicked. Finally, I wanted to close my video with some questions that I had. On page 86, Philosophy said some things that I was very confused about. And she said, "I will show you the path that will bring you home. I will give your mind wings on which to lift itself. All disquiet shall be driven away, and you will be able to return safely to your homeland. I will be your guide, your path, and your conveyance." And I was kind of wondering, is philosophy making a cause for God as the cause of all happiness, or is she trying to make a cause for herself as the role of all happiness? Like, you need philosophy to be happy instead of you need God to be happy. Because shouldn't it be God's job to show people the path toward happiness and the path to bring them home? And so that is it for my reflection on Book 4 of the Consolation of Philosophy.